If you're starting over and you want to find a Claude AI side hustle, you have come to the right place. And I know there's a reason why you're here because PwC surveyed almost 54,000 workers across 46 countries, and 1 in 5 of them are already working more than one job. And of those people, 69% said it's because they need the money. So if you're looking for a side hustle right now, you are not being greedy, you are being normal. So these are gonna be the best Claude AI side hustles for people that are starting over. Now, here's the objection that I already know you have. You're thinking, Shane, I don't have the experience for this stuff. I don't know how to use AI. Good news, you don't need it. I picked every one of these because Claude can do the heavy lifting for you. So you are not learning a whole new career here. You're pointing a software at a job and checking its work. You're gonna be using Claude to do the heavy lifting for things that you already know how to do, or things that are repetitive or easy to do, and then just checking its work. And I was a pharmacist making 6 figures and sitting on 6 figures in student loan debt at the same time, and the cost of living kept going up, and it got genuinely hard to get by. So I started a side hustle and it got to $10,000 a month. And that side hustle turned into my full-time business that has now done over $10 million. And I've had so many community members of mine that started the same exact way in the middle of starting over, and many of them are making $5,000 or even $10,000 a month or more from something that is literally a side hustle, not something they're doing full-time. And I will put the actual Claude prompt on the screen for each one so that you can copy it and you can use it today. Plus, I'll be putting resources in the description in the pinned comment below for any of the prompts that you would need for Claude. And that should be the 3rd link in the description in the pinned comment below. So check that out by clicking down there. Now, if you appreciate me making this content and making all these free resources for you and you want me to do more of it in the future, then let me know by gently cheersing the like button, and let's jump into it right now. Okay, so the first side hustle is going to be selling an AI tool. So you build a piece of software that uses AI and then you sell access to it. Now, the ceiling on this one is almost endless, but here's the part that nobody tells you. You have to work extremely hard to get anywhere near that ceiling, or you have to be lucky, and usually it's both ways. So I put this one on purpose because it's a pretty common one that a lot of people talk about, but I want to talk about the upsides and the downsides of it. Now, some people just happen to be at the right time in the right place with a bunch of people ready to throw money at them. Take this guy, Ben Broca. He owns a company called Pulsia, which is basically an AI tool that works like an AI co-founder. And according to this article, he got the company to $10 million in revenue with 10,000 customers, and he is still the only employee. Now, I want to be straight with you about something. He also raised $30 million to build this. So this is not a guy who started with nothing on a laptop. The 0 employees part is real and it is impressive, but the starting from 0 part is not the same story. And there's actually a video about this, and the video is called 24 Hours Inside a $30 million Silicon Valley AI startup with no employees. And it's basically just him chilling in an office doing a bunch of AI stuff. And he runs a $30 million company out of his empty office with software doing the jobs that he would have hired people for. So there are no stand-up meetings and whatnot. It's just a guy checking whether his software did the job overnight. Now, let's talk about why this matters if you're starting over. It is a high ceiling, but it is possible now because the barrier to entry for making apps and software has gotten so low. And here's what I mean. We use AI a lot on my team, and typing long prompts gets annoying. So we like to just talk and have it turn into text. And back then, Claude did not have the voice feature yet. And I personally use Whisperflow for the voice feature, and it runs at about 20 bucks a month. And my creative director did not want to pay that. So he vibe coded his own app with Claude Code. And his prompt was probably as simple as this. Hey Claude, can you make me an app very similar to Whisperflow? And he made a much worse version of Whisperflow. It was so janky and clunky that even he would not use it. And he spent a massive amount of time doing this. Plus he spent a bunch of money on the tokens that it costed to actually make this app. But it did work a little, but it was just very inconvenient. And that is a lesson. A person with no software background can build something that almost works in an afternoon, but almost working is not a business yet, but it is a lot closer than it was. So I think the big thing to note here is, yes, you can make money making software for people, and you can make one piece of software that can blow up and be worth 100 million or even $1 billion plus, but it is incredibly rare. And also, if you can get some sort of advantage by making software, because it's actually very easy to make software now, it might be better to get that advantage by making software and then using it inside of your business that's doing something else. Because the truth is, you can make a piece of software and then someone else can just copy it in almost no time. It's very easy to do it now. And so I think the much smarter move is making a piece of software that accomplishes a task that's highly personalized to something that you're doing, and then just keeping that to yourself because it gives you a competitive advantage against anybody somebody else that's trying to do the same task. So you're going to notice that that's a reoccurring theme in this video. But let's get to the second Claude AI side hustle on this list, which is filing trademarks for small businesses. So a business owner wants their name and their logo protected. Somebody has to run the search to see if that name is even available, fill out the application correctly, and then answer the trademark office when it pushes back. And you are not giving legal advice here. This is just paperwork. And that distinction is the entire reason that a person with no law degree can sell this. So Derek Morgan Jr. is 34 years old. He splits his time between Dallas and Mexico City, and he makes $40,000 a month, and he is on track for a nearly $500,000 year. And he started making this money just by doing gigs on Fiverr, filing trademarks for small businesses, which means he never had to go find a single customer himself. They were already there typing the word trademark into a search bar with a card in their hand. And when I was researching this one, I looked it up on YouTube, and there's this lady who talks a lot about trademark stuff and how to register a small business. And there's not a lot of content about it, and it is quite a niche skill.
All right, so if there's one thing that I can say for sure when it comes to the trademark registration process is that it's not short.
So there is probably a reason why Derek is making that kind of money doing it. And she built a channel with over 172,000 subscribers just explaining how to fill out a bunch of forms. But something very similar to this one is basically helping people start their business and registering it to the government. This is actually a very common question that I get as well. And one of my community members, Darcy, actually has a bunch of videos about how to start an LLC, how to get grants, and all sorts of things about starting a business and the legal stuff that you need to think about. And she actually makes $200+ a day doing this. So yeah, that's a big chunk of change for someone talking about papers and starting a business. And by the way, that screenshot of the $200 a day is just from AdSense alone. She's making far more from the other products and services that she's selling or promoting on her channel. Now, let's talk about why this matters if you're starting over. Boring is the whole advantage. Nobody is making content about filling out forms, so almost nobody is competing for this work. And I want to say this clearly because it protects you. Derek is not a lawyer, and he does not pretend to be one. He does the preparation and the filing, which is a real and completely legal service. So how do you do this with Claude? You can have Claude do the paperwork, and obviously you would be checking it here and there, but a simplified prompt would be, hey Claude, please help me build out the outline for filing trademarks for a company that I'm working with. I will then give it additional information about the business below, and it might even ask you for some missing information if there's anything missing. And that's how you can do this with Claude. All right, so the next Claude AI side hustle is gonna be niche resume writing. So somebody sends you their resume and the job that they actually want, you rewrite that resume so that it answers what the job posting is asking for, and you clean up their LinkedIn to match. And the word that matters there is niche. You pick one type of professional and you become known for being really good at making resumes for that one specific type of job or profession. So let me just give you an example of this. Mike McRitchie reports making over $30,000 last year as a side hustle, just writing resumes. And he does it specifically for mid-career tech professionals. And he just did it on the side. Now, why does this matter if you're starting over? Well, if you have gotten into a job before, there is a really good chance other people want to get into that same job, and they probably need help writing their resume. So you are not learning a new skill. You are selling the one that you had to use to get hired in the first place. And I have a friend and community member, Davis, and he helps people get into management consulting jobs, and he coaches them through it, and then his team also writes the resumes. And he makes around $100,000 a month with this specific model. But the cool thing is this entire business started off as him literally just helping people who are trying to get into management consulting write their resumes. That's it. So let's talk about how to do this with Claude. So you could say something like, hey Claude, I'm going to paste in a job posting and resume, rewrite the resume so it answers what that posting is actually asking for, then show me every change that you made and tell me why you made it. Now, by the way, this is a very simple prompt. And typically when I'm giving prompts like this, I like to use the voice control feature. So I literally just talk to Claude. And of course, depending on the career, depending on your experience, etc., you're going to have to go back and forth with Claude on this before it gets really good at doing the niche thing that you're trying to do. But one of the simplest things is just to literally tell it to interview you until it has enough information to give you a really good answer. So I've had hundreds of people comment, for instance, about how good my niche AI finder, where it literally is designed to help you find your niche, or if you already have a niche, help you make it 10 times better. And the way that I created that is literally just by having Claude interview me over and over again until it had enough context to make a really good piece of AI software. And more on that niche AI finder here in a moment. Because speaking of teaching other people how to get into jobs, I wanted to show you something. The reason this works so well is that you have probably already have a job that you want to start over from, or that you're being forced to start over from. And you can use that as leverage. For instance, Andrea Paulton is a former CMO. That is a chief marketing officer. And she has experience at one of the biggest marketing agencies. And now she helps other people run those same marketing strategies for small businesses and get clients with a lead gen system. And with our help working on the side, she was able to make her first $10,000 within a very short period of time after joining us. Right, so we have people winning left and right in our communities. And if you have not noticed yet, both Davis and Andrea both have YouTube channels. And the truth is, every single side hustle in this video works, but the problem is people have to be able to find you. And that is how both of them do it. And it's not even just about jobs. This could be about education. For instance, Alex Shep helps people graduate from college faster, and he makes around $15,000 a month from YouTube. And we helped him do this in a pretty short period of time after joining our community. And it doesn't even have to be about education either. It could be about passion. For instance, Evan Sean made money out of GTA 6 before the game even came out. And he has a YouTube channel and a school community called GTA Creator Academy. And he has 249 members paying him $25 a month. Now, that is over $6,000 a month for a game that doesn't even exist yet. It hasn't even come out yet. Now, if you want to learn how you can do this yourself and how we taught all these different people in the community how to do this, then go ahead and attend the live training that I'm doing this week by clicking the link in the description in the pinned comment below, where we'll teach you step by step, even if you're a complete beginner, exactly how to do this. We'll give you the AI that helps you choose your niche, or if you already have a niche, it helps it make it 10 times better. And I'll be answering literally any questions that you have before, during, and after the live training. So I look forward to seeing you there. Click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to check it out. Oh, and if you're watching this later, still click that link because it'll put you on a wait list for whenever we do the next live training. All right, so next up is going to be cleaning up transcripts and proofreading. So software gets a transcript about 90% right. Your job is the last 10%. So that's the names, the accents, the crosstalk, the industry words, and the numbers that actually matter. Proofreading is the same idea. You are the last set of eyes before something goes out the door. So Gaynor Painter works out of Johannesburg, South Africa, and she reports making $3,000 a month from this side hustle. And some of the people that she works with have stayed with her for 10 years. And here's another part that I find interesting. There's this video from John and Kenny called I Tried Typing Subtitles for $12 an hour. And that video got 4 million views. And according to Social Blade, this video is made up to $17,000. And he is basically just making videos about transcription. So let's talk about why this matters if you're starting over. This is the lowest bar on the entire list. You need no credential, no money to start, and no audience. Nobody is paying for typing anymore because typing is free now. They're paying for accuracy and someone who can be held accountable when it's wrong. And software cannot be held accountable, but you can. So how do you do this with Claude? You can type something like, hey Claude, I'm going to paste in a rough machine transcript, clean it up so it's ready to publish, flag anything that you think was misheard, and give me a list of every name or term that you're not sure about. And that list of things that it is not sure about is the actual job. And those are exactly what you get paid to go check. All right, so next up is going to be publishing books on Amazon. So this is called KDP, which stands for Kindle Direct Publishing. So you write a book, you upload it, and Amazon handles the printing and the delivery. And you keep a royalty on every copy. So there is no publisher, there is no agent, and there is nothing to pay up front. Now, I actually sat down and interviewed a friend and a community member of mine named Sean about this. And Sean made millions of dollars publishing books on Amazon. And then something interesting happened. With our help after joining the community, he hit over $500,000 in a single month teaching other people how to do the same thing. So the money from this is millions of dollars from KDP and even more money teaching other people how to do it as well. So let's talk about why this matters if you're actually starting over. Everything before this trades your hours for money. This is the first one that does not. You write the book one time and the 100th copy costs you nothing. And nobody is checking your credentials at the door because Amazon does not care where you went to school. It's a complete meritocracy. If your book is good, people are going to buy it. If it is not, people won't. Now, let's talk about how to do this with Claude. And by the way, this is just getting started. I highly recommend you go check out my interview that I did with Sean if you're interested in learning more about this. But you'd say something like this. Hey Claude, interview me about what I actually know well enough to teach somebody, then help me outline a short book on it, chapter by chapter, and tell me who would buy it and what they'd type into Amazon to find it. And then just answer whatever it asks you, and that's a good place to get started. Now, I have to be straight with you about this one. Amazon makes you tell them if your content was generated with AI, and they cap how many books you can upload in a day. So this is not a machine that you point at Amazon and walk away from it. Claude helps you write faster, but it does not write the entire book for you. But I think the most important thing about this is pick something that you already know a lot about. Pick something that you can already give value on, because general information is very easy to look up on the internet right now, but what's not easy to look up is experience, wisdom, and authenticity. So make sure that the information actually comes from you, and then Claude can help you do the heavy lifting on the other parts, right? It can basically act like a ghostwriter for you. And another thing I want to say is one book almost never works. Sean did not just publish one book, he built a catalog of books. And many of the books he published were failures, but then some of them were not, and they made him millions of dollars. All right, so the next Claude AI side hustle is teaching companies how to use AI. So companies already bought the subscriptions, but their teams have no idea what to do with them. So you run a half-day workshop for one industry, you show up, you teach, you leave, and you get paid. You do not implement anything, and you do not own the outcome. And Connor Grennan was a dean of students at NYU Stern, and he also writes children's books. He is not an engineer, and he started running internal AI workshops, and the demand from big companies got so large that he left the university to do it full time. And when it comes to the money, AI workshops run roughly $3,000 to $15,000 per session. Then Jeff Su teaches practical AI workflows for email, meetings, and decks. And there's a case study video breaking down how he makes money, and he made over $835,000 in 1 year. So the main point here is you could do this for companies, and you could also just teach the same exact stuff on YouTube. And if you think teaching companies how to use AI sounds hard, you're going to be shocked at how little they actually know. You telling them that it can write an email will probably shock them. If you think you have to teach them how to vibe code apps or build AI agents, you actually do not. You can do the simplest thing on earth, and in their eyes, you're going to be an AI expert. And it is the same on YouTube. And I keep my explanations simple, or people get bored and they leave. So let's talk about how you can do this with Claude. Hey Claude, make me an outline for teaching a company how to use AI. Interview me so I can give my opinion and current knowledge about how to use AI. And that is the whole prompt, right? And that interview part matters because it stops it making up AI slop. So you just answer whatever it asks, and then it gives you really good training material. Now, one piece of advice that I would give here is try to specialize in what type of AI advice you give. So a really good example of this is I was working with someone in the real estate industry recently, and there's certain paperwork that they have to fill out every single time they sell a house, or every single time they even send a proposal to sell a house, and it is very time consuming. It takes them like 2 hours to do it each time. And so this person was asking me how they can do this same task with AI and save a massive amount of time. And they couldn't figure out how to do it themselves. I helped them for a little bit and we figured it out. And we got it down to something like 5 to 15 minutes to do the same exact task, which is going to end up saving her hundreds of hours over the long run. So that's a perfect example of using AI for industry specific tasks and teaching other people how they can do it, which creates an obvious and tangible result when it comes to saving their team time and therefore making their team much more productive. All right, next let's talk about starting a channel about what you already know. So your job, your degree, your business, or the thing that you are just into. And the money does not come from one place. It comes from ads, products, speaking, and brand deals at the same time. So Nisha Shah was an associate director at Credit Agricole and was making over 200,000 pounds a year. That's about $256,000 in US. And she quit in January of 2024 and walked away from a 6-figure bonus that was due 2 months later. And then CNBC checked her numbers against her actual bank statements. And she made over $1 million from May of 2023 to May of 2024. So she literally makes over $1 million a year just explaining the job that she already has. Now, here's the number that nobody puts in the thumbnail. It took her 11 months to get her first 1,000 subscribers. Then she added 50,000 in a single month. Then she hit 100,000 about 2 months after that. And that is what this actually looks like, right? In many cases, when people start on YouTube, it stays flat for a long time. You don't really make much progress. And then all of a sudden it stops being flat and it goes parabolic. In many cases, both your views and also your income. But you don't need a lot of views and you don't need a big channel to do this as well. For instance, a community member of mine named Nicole, when she first started working with me, she had 85 subscribers and we helped her get to $85,000 in a single month with a significantly smaller channel than Nisha has. And Nicole helps women get into cybersecurity jobs. And she doesn't need nearly as many views or subscribers because she picked the right niche, picked the right videos, and monetized her channel correctly, which is something that I'll be talking about in the live training this week. So click that link in the description in the pinned comment below. And it does not stop at cybersecurity. This works for all kinds of jobs. See, another community member of mine, Antoine, helps people land high-paying jobs, and he makes $100,000 a month. And if you don't want to talk about your job, Clifford runs a channel called College Hacked with around 40,000 subscribers, and he makes multiple six figures a year from this channel. And he helps busy professionals get college credit so they can move their career forward, and typically do it all online. And most of the people that he works with finish in under 18 months. So here's the thing about every single side hustle that I have shown you today. All of them depend on somebody else's platform to help you find customers. Fiverr, LinkedIn, Etsy, Amazon. Every one of those can change the rules on you tomorrow morning if they want to. But a YouTube channel is the one where you own the relationship. And that is why this is number 7 and not number 1. It's the slowest one. It can take a long amount of time, but it's also the one that makes all of the other ones work. And I'm going to be talking in great detail about exactly how to do this with Claude AI and giving away the best Claude AI tool that we've ever created when it comes to doing this in this week's live training. So click that link in the description in the pinned comment below to check that out. Now, this one typically takes a very long time to figure out on your own. Even for someone who is successful like Nisha, it took her about a year to figure it out. And that was with consistent upload and consistent work. But there's many other people where it's taken even longer. But by using my resources, watching my videos, and attending my live training, you can shortcut that process tremendously. For instance, Isaiah, just by attending my live training, was able to get his channel to nearly $30,000 in a single month without ever working one-on-one with me or my team, which is incredible. So I know that 99% of you are going to get a ton of value out of my videos. You're going to get a ton of value out of my free resources and free AIs that I create for you. And you're going to get a massive amount of value if you attend my live training. But we are never going to end up working together, and that is completely fine. I get hundreds and hundreds of comments, emails, DMs, etc. from people saying how amazing my free content and my live trainings and my free AI resources are. And I want to make sure that I give away 10 or even 100 times more value than I receive. But there's going to be a small percentage of you out there, maybe 1% or 0.1% of you out there that wants a real hand-holding one-on-one mentorship experience with myself and my team. Or you want us to literally just do the work for you. And if that sounds like you, go ahead and book a call by clicking the link in the description in the pinned comment below. It should be the second link down there. But only book a call if you're very serious about growing and making money on YouTube and growing your hybrid personal brand. We can only accept about 5 people right now because we're very limited in the amount of people we can work with. We have way more people that want to work with us than we can accept, and we only accept about 18% of people to even take a call. So we have to be very picky about who we work with because we only want to work with people that we know we can get results for. So the types of people we typically work with are professionals with at least 10 plus years of experience, or people who are overachievers. But either way, it's people who can give a lot of value making educational content on YouTube. We also work with business owners that want to get more views, get more leads, get more revenue and sales, and grow their brand. We also work with YouTubers who are getting a lot of views but struggling with monetization, and YouTubers who are crushing it, but they want to crush it harder. And finally, we work with people who are big on other social media platforms. They have a large audience and they want to bring that audience over to YouTube because they know that YouTube is the best. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and book that call by clicking the second link in the description in the pinned comment below. And if not, check out this video right here on exactly how we help Sean scale all the way to $500,000 a month on YouTube with a hybrid personal brand.